at my clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, we got some big news over the past couple of days, or just over the past last episode that have released, when we actually did get to see the brand new ending for Boruto. A lot of you guys probably didn't necessarily know that there's going to be a brand new ending, mainly because the news of a brand new ending isn't necessarily that big and that huge. A lot of the YouTubers didn't necessarily make a video about the brand new ending, but we did get some very interesting things in the last ending that did air the last episode of Boruto, and in my opinion, a lot of you guys are going to definitely love what we did see in the ending. I'm pretty sure you guys don't necessarily need me to say it, but we've seen Boruto in some sort of sage mode in the last ending. A lot of you guys have been hitting me up and basically asking me, is this actually legit? Is Boruto actually going to get a sage mode? And is Boruto going to actually perfect the sage mode? A whole bunch of questions that I don't necessarily have the answer to, but I definitely do want to give some of my opinions about this. Now, first things first, I was born a day, but I was definitely not born yesterday. What we understand is that the Boruto openings and endings, they are extremely deceiving, and in two openings in particular, we thought we were going to get an extravagant arc. I mean, just the animations, all the choreography, Boruto using his jutsu, Boruto using his Rasengan, Boruto fighting against a whole bunch of other rogue ninjas and stuff like that. Those things were introduced in previous openings. We have yet to get an arc, we have yet to get an episode, we have yet to get a scintilla of anything resembling those two openings, and it just did not happen. So in my opinion, it is a very huge chance that Boruto will probably not get his sage mode. But I do have to point this out. In all of the other misleading openings, they never really gave Boruto an ability that he didn't previously have. For example, what we did see from those other two openings was we seen Boruto use his jutsu. We've seen a whole arc on the jutsu, the first arc of Boruto of all time with Sumire. So we understood that Boruto had a pre-existing skill of using that ability. And we also seen Boruto use his Rasengan. We already know that Boruto has the ability to use Rasengan, and we also seen characters that were already introduced into Boruto. We've seen Shinki, we've seen other characters like that in those openings. So for this ending to now have Boruto using sage mode, as I said, I really do think that Boruto is going to be getting a sage mode. I don't think that Boruto is going to be getting his sage mode in the near future. I think he's going to get it 100%. He's most likely going to get it before the time skip, but in terms of how soon will it be, I have no idea. Speaking in anime terms, we understand that in the manga, Boruto still doesn't have a sage mode. And I do want to point this out. That doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be getting it anytime soon in the anime. That just means in the manga, he didn't necessarily show it yet. So he could possibly have sage mode in the manga, but he just did not use it yet. One great example to back up that theory is Sada with the 3 tomos. We understand in the Boruto anime, Sada only has 1 tomo. She doesn't even have 2 of them yet. And out of nowhere in the manga, Sada pretty much busts out her 3 tomo Sharingan after a whole year of not activating her Sharingan period. So just in conclusion about that point, I highly recommend you guys don't necessarily look towards the manga to give you guys any clues or any inklings about Boruto obtaining a sage mode. Now here's the thing about Boruto and why I feel like this is extremely realistic. Coming into the anime of Boruto, we understood that Boruto was going to get a lot of abilities from Naruto and a lot of the abilities from Jiraiya and everybody else that came from that descendant. Now Toad sage mode was extremely high on that list. A lot of people assumed that Boruto would get sage mode. There was a lot of fan art with Boruto with sage mode, and this right here just followed that exact track. Boruto gets a lot of stuff from Naruto, the Rasengans, the shadow clones, a whole bunch of stuff. It just makes sense for Boruto to also obtain the sage mode as well. And the ending also gave us the courtesy of explaining and pretty much showing us which sage mode that Boruto has, mainly because in one of the frames it shows that Boruto is standing directly on a toad. Now in my opinion, I feel like it's a no-brainer. It would definitely be Toad sage mode. Some of you guys might have some reservations, some questions, mainly because we understand that Boruto did sign a summoning contract with a snake before prior back in the Mitsuki retrieval arc, which was with Garaga. But still, what we understand is that Boruto is going to go through extensive training, not only with Sasuke but also with Naruto as well. Sasuke loves snakes, Sasuke summons snakes as well, and also Boruto will be definitely training under Sasuke, so I won't be surprised if Boruto in the future does start summoning snakes a lot more frequently. But what we understood previously was that it was a high possibility of Boruto also training in Mount Miyaboku with the toads as well, and that in turn just makes Boruto a stronger ninja. I feel like it could only be a positive if Boruto just has that much more versatility. And speaking of versatility, getting off of the sage mode points, what we did see was Boruto use some sort of pseudo fireball jutsu. Now this right here, it seems like it's going to be extremely realistic, mainly because he's training under Sasuke, But the big thing about this is the fact that we didn't necessarily think that Boruto had fire release. Now, as I said earlier, we should take everything with a grain of salt. We were born one day, but it wasn't yesterday, and the openings and the endings could possibly be misleading. Now, I did speak about how the openings and endings didn't necessarily give Boruto anything too crazy, so Boruto will most likely get the Sage Mode, but in my opinion, something just as light as a jutsu with fire in it, that right there could possibly be a little bit fudged in the ending. So it's very possible that Boruto just does not have this ability, but also it just wouldn't be anything too crazy if Boruto would actually get fire release, mainly because he is training under a character like Sasuke. And what we understand is that the elites of the elites, they have multiple chakra natures. Naruto has all 5, Sasuke has all 5, Kakashi has all 5. Kakashi is a different story, mainly because he has 1,000 jutsus. It wouldn't necessarily shock me if Boruto in turn later on down the line would also develop all 5 jutsus. It's just how potent and how skilled Boruto is going to be in all 5 jutsus. We understand that Naruto has all 5 jutsus, but Naruto doesn't necessarily use a lot of fire style. He doesn't necessarily use a lot of earth style, even though we've seen him use it before in the past. He doesn't really use it a lot. But if Boruto can possibly implement fire style into his actual abilities, mainly because he's training under a character like Sasuke, and of course is friends with a character like Sada, that's definitely going to help out Boruto a lot more in the future. And I'm 100% excited to see how that's probably going to end up. But you guys know how this thing goes. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Give me your opinion. Do you guys actually think that Boruto is going to eventually get his Toad Sage Mode, or do you guys possibly think that this is just a whole fallacy? Do you guys think it's all false and the Boruto writers are just fudging the ending like how they did with the other previous openings as well? And also give me your opinion about Boruto using fire style, mainly because I feel like a lot of people would definitely be interested in that. Would you be excited for Boruto using fire style, and do you guys think that Boruto will also actually get fire style, or is it just the Boruto writers fudging the ending again? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.